You going to abide by the rules? No soup for you.
This works for me.
It works for me.
Works for me.
If it works for you, then it works for me. And vice versa. Versa. Yes.
Three chairs.
Too many chairs. You know, where I come from, it's hard to make a chair. And a lot of people, they take chairs for granted. You know, I think if you're going to sit down, it'd be one of them places where you would take a chair, you know, for face value.
I hate that it was so easy for you to just start and go. You're just like, you know.
Where do you think the Southern accent comes from? Like out the back of the throat? Complex.
I mean, it can sit all over the tongue.
No, I don't think it sits all over the tongue.
You can.
I think that America is on the tip of the tongue. Tip. America's like, Welcome everybody to another episode of Cryptic Cuts. My name is Alex and I'm here with the creature of the night, Craig Lamar Traylor, and we are going to be discussing 2024's horror trends. We are also going to be discussing what we think is going to happen in 2025. I
mean, I didn't know that 2020, we had preconceived ideas and thoughts about what 2025 was going to maybe potentially be, but it's starting like there is no trend. It looks like there's just, we'll get into it. Yeah, like.
2025 is looking like just chaos.
It does look like it.
A good chaos.
But 2024 especially, and I think that it was something that was really of notice to so many people, was I think a lot of women really put horror on their backs and just ran with it throughout all of 2024. Yeah. Prior leading up to that, it had been this trend that just wasn't, I guess, what's the word, like, not publicized, but it just wasn't, society wasn't really paying attention to that yet.
Yeah, I don't think society was paying attention to horror,
period,
seriously as a genre for until recently. And then 2024 just had all of these amazing women come out and just perform and just act their absolute hearts out. And it was just a joy to be in the cinema and see just this completely fresh perspective on so many really intense, visceral, poignant, really just hot topics that everybody's kind of talking about and maybe not talking about, but these movies were just boom, 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 boom. So we had, I mean, Immaculate.
That was
phenomenal. We had The Substance.
We seen what that did to the Academy.
We had, what else?
Oh my God, Smile 2 was my favorite movie from last year. And it was just, you know, to look at these dynamic performances from all these women was just such a sight to see, because now finally it's like, okay, we got to pay attention to what's going on in horror, and women were the one to really do it, yo.
I agree. I think that women were really the ones to put horror on the map, even though it was not technically on the map, because why? There is no horror genre at the Grammys. Emmys,
yeah. I mean, there
is no horror genre at the Emmys.
At the Emmys.
I don't fucking care about the Grammys, honestly.
Me either.
But
the Academy has never decided that there has been an area to put these movies in, because they just haven't taken them serious enough. I mean, honestly, we people that you guys are probably watching this right now for a couple different reasons, but you saw horror, you clicked on it, you're watching it now, we're talking about it, and y'all know that people don't take horror as serious as it needs to be, but now things are changing.
Things are a-changing. The times are changing, and I would really be, you know, I'd be inclined to say that there's going to be a
what?
Horny genre.
Say it to the camera.
Horny genre.
Say it to the camera.
You know, we're gonna make mistakes on this show. It's just gonna happen. We're actually being very tame right now because we're just getting started. But as this starts to unfold, we're probably gonna get demonetized. Anyway, so 2024, I think that they're definitely going to be making a horror genre very, very soon. That's going to encapsulate all the beautiful work that's being done across the space.
Here, here.
Here, 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 here.
And I think that's, you know, what a lot of people that are diehard horror fans they want to see. Like, we all love these movies for relatively the same reason. We like being scared. And there were some really good scares in 2024.
Yeah.
Like some real, I mean, I look at like like I said, Smile 2, my favorite movie of 2024. It was relentless. It was relentless. It was aggressive. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it. Please go watch that.
You have to go watch it.
And you watch Naomi Scott is her name, the actress.
Yes.
Crushed it. And you look at these women that do this that should have been nominated for something, and they don't get it. Toni Collette, Hereditary.
Yes. Oh.
That was a start. That was a real kickoff.
Oh.
You see what I mean? Like this is just what we've been leading up to and what we're starting to see.
That was a good take. That was a good shout. That was a good shout.
Because it was
shout
like
out Toni Collette.
Toni Collette, you should have won something for that. And we all know it. Everyone knows it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, low-key, I really feel like that was the start of Toni Collette's resurgence, but nobody really understood like why she got so popular so quickly over the past, 4 or 5 years. And I just feel like, Hereditary was just, yes. And we were just, highly anticipating more movies like that. But, it's not every day. Like, not every movie comes out and it's just like, a banger. Like, it's going to completely reinvent the genre. But the cool thing about Hereditary was it really was that passing of the torch to a whole new generation of amazing horror actors and actresses. But it just so happened to be that the women in horror have kind of taken the wheel and started to drive that vehicle into just a really, really amazing place for all of us to get to enjoy as fans.
Agreed.
I know personally for me, Immaculate was like one of my favorite movies of 2024, just because, it was just hard to take your eyes off of. Contextually, we can get into all of the little tethers in symbolism and metaphors that the movie was trying to make, but if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give anything away, but I would highly recommend that you go out and see that movie, especially if you like older 70s, kind of like Italian, old school gritty movies. Like, just everything top to bottom was so good.
Yeah.
And I think that, Miss Sydney Sweeney did her thing.
She
absolutely just, she
ate down boots, as the kids say.
She had it under
Crushed.
her thumb. So that being said, we had this very strong and optimistic view of 2025 in horror because 2024 was so good. But then as we started to kind of go from 2024 into 2025, we started to see trends, right? So we've talked about the women in horror, these kind of beauty monsters that are just in there absolutely killing things.
Wrecking shop.
And then 2025, we started to see AI just pop up really quick. Like it's right in the new year, hot topic, AI. So we had Companion,
That was great.
Companion, great movie. Really enjoyed a lot that it said about just AI in general and our interpretation of our fears towards robots and companions and them being so humanoid that it's almost hard to tell what is human and what is not human anymore. And I think that brought up a lot of really, really just good questions to ask ourselves about how we emotionally feel towards artificial intelligence and humanoid robotics going forward. And it was just really interesting to start to see how I reacted, starting to see something like a on-camera death, but of a robot. How do you feel about that?
The idea of sentience is becoming a very big role in these movies, like not just horror, but in AI themed things in general.
Yeah, across the board.
Yeah, but in horror, it's we watch these movies to freak us out, to scare us, to make us think a little bit sometimes too. And the AI being sentient and being a creature that is having emotions and feelings is really starting to kind of jar a lot of people, which is why we thought that, that's going to be the full, maybe that's where it's going to run into.
Yeah.
But we're seeing very different things pop up.
Yeah, we are. We are seeing very different things. It's, like I said, we thought that 2025 was going to go in the realm of more robotics and AI. And we are kind of getting that with Megan 2.0.
Right.
That is a continuation of
Renner actually dropped in 2025.
And we have Renner that dropped in 2025, which Craig is actually in. Check out Renner. You can check that out on multiple streaming platforms. You got Frankie Muniz, Craig Lamar Traylor right here and a couple other great actors and actresses. It was a really cool movie. And yeah, it talks about, the quirks of AI and everything that has to go in with that. So please check that out, but we don't want to spoil anything, so go watch it, okay? But after, Craig being in Renner and what we saw with Companion, we kind of were thinking, yeah, AI, oh. But we started to see that 2025 is just turning into just a hot melting pot of amazing franchises, new movies, new stories, awesome legacy producers and directors coming out with just hot takes on new topics. I mean, it's going to be really exciting, it's looking like.
Yeah, I think maybe, we're not the people making a lot of the blockbusters right now yet. But we can pay attention that, maybe some people are a little bit ahead of the curve what they're looking at. Maybe they're like, okay, well, since that was maybe what people are thinking, let's just curveball. And it's kind of cool when a lot of people have the idea of let's just curveball society and let's all do something different. Because it looks like, so far, I ain't seen two of the same type of movies that are going to be coming out. It looks like everything, for the most part, is a little different.
Yeah, everything's got its own little universe, it's looking like. And from what we've seen so far in 2025, definitely started off one way, has veered a completely other way. And we actually just did a video, please go check it out, kind of describing the movies to come in 2025, the previews that we were watching. We did some live reactions to
definitely check that out.
We did live reactions to the new Final Destination. What was the other one? Together, which looked awesome. And we also did
Jordan Peele's Him. Don't know what. I mean, you're looking at it, but it's like, who knows?
Who knows? In 2025, what we've been expecting has not been what we've seen. And especially since we've seen a few movies in theaters in 2025, quite recently, honestly, two of them being Sinners and Killer Clown in a Cornfield? Is that what it's called?
Clown in a Cornfield, yeah.
Clown in a Cornfield. Oh my God. I had a great time watching Clown in a Cornfield. And I had a good time watching Sinners. Not really.
Nah, we're gonna get into that. Please stay tuned. It's gonna be a little bit of a hot topic, but you know what? That's what we're here for. We're talking about what we like about it and what we don't like about it. And we're not always gonna be super gung-ho for something. It's just us talking about how we feel.
Yes, not everything makes the list, and we're gonna have our opinions on everything that we watch. I mean, that's what this is about, right? It's a podcast, or it's a YouTube, or it's a video. I don't know what this is, but it's something.
We're right here.
It's something. We're here, wherever we are. We have no idea. But what we can say is that we are going to be delivering as much as we possibly can, commenting on the horror space, because that's what we're interested the most. I mean, Craig being an actor, formerly on Malcolm in the Middle, getting back into the industry. Once again, watch Renner if you haven't seen it.
Check Renner out.
This is the world that we are in. So a little bit of context is, I am a DP, producer, overall creative camera person. Mr. Craig Lamar Traylor here has been on Malcolm in the Middle and has been an actor, an artist, and jeweler in New York City. We both live in New York City, and we are starting to get our beaks wet making movies, shorts, and just little things for the internet again. Anything just to be on camera and kind of just connect with people out there, yourselves. So we're very excited to be doing this with everybody, and we really want to start to just dive deeper and have a better relationship with a genre that we just love so much. I mean, almost we watch exclusively horror thriller, sci-fi horror. I mean,
psychological
horror, episodic TV horror thrillers.
Yeah, things.
I mean, it's really like what we like, what we love.
Yeah, and I think that there is a lot of other people around that share the same sentiment as us, and they love horror as well. I mean, it wouldn't be picking up as it is. I mean, I got friends that I grew up with that were like, don't like this stuff. And now they're watching these movies, these profound movies that are getting nominated for this, that, and the other. And they go, I kind of think I like scary movies now. And if that's not the point to get people more involved and more intrigued, then I don't know what is, yo.
Truly. So far in 2025, we have seen exactly 4 new movies. The first movie that we saw was The Monkey.
It's awesome.
We loved it. Honestly, genuinely, we loved it. And we're going to take deeper dives into all these movies but we would recommend you go see The Monkey. A very, very obscure short novel, or was it a full book by Stephen King?
I think it was a short story by Stephen King.
Short story, yeah.
Short story by Stephen King, and great cast. Once again, comedy horror is starting to kind of make its uprise right now too, because The Monkey, hilarious, funny, silly, real Grim. Screwed up, like Grim. You know, and very dark, very, very, very dark humor. Mm-hmm. And it was guts. It was hilarious, man. It was great. That was the first one that we saw, and highly recommend it.
Now, what was the second thing that we saw?
I think the second thing that we saw was Death of the Unicorn, man. That was. You want to talk about something that's so well put together, so thought out, and the cast, you can see when you can see a cast on a movie when their synergy works so well together.
Oh my God, they were having so much fun. They were having so much fun. And for me, I mean, I can't imagine that anybody has a bad time on set with Paul Rudd.
100%. He seems like such a cool guy.
I just can't see it.
He plays himself for the most part. It's just variations of Paul Rudd. I can't see it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's another movie that I think is probably going to be a cult classic.
I think that will be a cult classic. So if that's your kind of movie, if you like the psychedelic, very camp, but also just a fun, thrilling ride.
Relevant too.
Check out Death of a Unicorn. Honestly, one of the movies that I think a lot of people are gonna sleep on in 2025, and that they're gonna rewatch it probably in like 2 to 3 years and be like, wait, when did this come out? And they're gonna be like, oh, it's 2025. Mm-hmm. Watch it now. Yeah. Don't be that person.
Yeah, catch up, because people are gonna be talking about it later. It didn't necessarily slide under the radar at all.
What was the third movie that we saw? Mr. Craig Lamar Traylor.
The third movie that we saw in theaters this year, in the good old year of our King 2025, is Sinners. Blockbuster hit that everybody loved, and you know what? It was beautifully shot. We're gonna talk about that later.
We're gonna talk about Sinners.
No worries.
All by itself.
It deserves its own thing.
It deserves something.
And you know what? Some of y'all are not gonna like it.
We didn't like it. We didn't like it.
So you're not gonna like what we're gonna say.
We didn't like it.
We didn't like it.
We didn't like it.
We'll get into that later, because it deserves its own thing, and we're not trying to just completely rip a movie apart. But personally, there were things that we just weren't feeling. And you know what? It'd be like that sometimes.
It's fine. It's fine. You like some things that we don't like. We like some things that you don't like.
Right.
But you know what? That's fine, because we can talk about it in the comments, and that's where the real fun begins.
Uh-oh. Well, I feel like it's gonna be a little ride. Get ready. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we did see Sinners.
If you want to do it, we're quick on the keyboard too.
All right.
We'll see you there. Anyway, movie number 4.
Clown in a Cornfield.
Clown in a Cornfield, which we literally saw today.
Saw it today.
Saw it just a few hours ago.
Yeah. Very fresh in the mind.
Very fresh in the mind. Very fresh in the movies, honestly. It was a classic teeny bopper date night horror.
Yeah.
And that is something that we haven't seen in a while. And I think it's one of those for the new generation. And I think that all of you young adults and teens out there who are just getting into horror, go watch it.
Check it out.
Go watch it. I'm not saying that you should go ask your older cousin or aunt or uncle who might be cool to go get you into an R-rated movie. But I might recommend it. You know, I might just recommend that you go do that and just have an experience.
Live on the wild side a little bit.
But go with an adult. Do not sneak in.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Degenerates?
Yes.
That was our generation too. Go check it out. It's really good.
Yes.
It was awesome.
So those are the 4 movies in 2025 that we've actually seen so far. And let me tell you what, not one of them has anything to do with AI, which was what our hypothesis was for how 2025 was going to go. We thought we were going to see a gang of AI movies.
And it's been such a different pot of uniqueness. And I think people are in a creative zone. I don't know what's going on in people's heads, but they're putting things down, they're putting them out, and we're watching it.
Yes.
And it has not been a singular avenue that these people are running on. We're catching all kinds of different things, and I don't think that narrative is going to stop. I think the trend of 2025 is there is no trend.
Many different looks in terms of the movies and the horror universe. And one of those things that I just kind of think might be, unfortunately, a little bit of a sign of the times, if you will, is that everything's kind of scary right now. Maybe everything's a little scary.
A little bit.
So we try to make these movies that might be thriller or this or that, but they just kind of end up being horrors anyway. So I just say run with it. I just say run with that.
Yeah, I
and we
agree.
will be here to watch them. We hope that you will be here to watch them with us.
All right, folks. So ends the episode 2 of Cryptic Cuts. I think we saw a lot of content that really made a lot of sense. Look at 2024. Women crushed it the whole year. Really put horror on their backs and rolled us into what I think we're seeing now, which is kind of surprising. 2025 looks like, I don't know what.
It's a mystery. 2025 is a mystery, yet to be determined. But we are very optimistic on what we are seeing so far with the previews that are out, the movies that have been announced, and also we are always pleasantly surprised with movies that we are not expecting that just so happen to always shock us one way or another.
The surprise. We live for the surprise. So honestly, if any of y'all got any suggestions, holler at us. Let us know. Get in the comments. We'd love to watch. We'd love to see, like I said, 2 eyes, 2 brains, but y'all are way more. So let us know. Get into it.
Yep, there's only 24 hours in a day, but we would love to hear from all of you. So definitely give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, put your input, join our community.
You can get in the comments for sure. And you know what? We want to hear it. We want to hear what's going on in your heads because we're not the only ones watching these things. Y'all are looking at it too.
Yep.
Peace out, baby. Cryptic Cuts TV. We out here.
Yeah, baby.
Let's get high, baby.
Let's get hot. I'm gonna grab me another.